I know that a lot of people have been confused about the guidance about self-isolation and about how households should isolate in the event of somebody becoming symptomatic and suspected of having COVID-19. So I want to clarify that with respect to the guidance which is now available from the government, having considered all of the risks that are involved. Let's imagine a household where there are several people who live together, and one of them develops a high fever or a persistent cough and self-isolates for 7 days in order to prevent the spread of that disease and to make sure that it doesn't get any worse. The other members of the household need to isolate themselves as well for a period of 14 days. Now, the reason that matters is that during the illness of the first person, they may pass the virus on to the others and they may incubate it for a period of a few days and then may become ill. After the 7 days from the onset of symptoms for the first person, they can go back to work if they're well again. If their temperature is resolved and they haven't got problems with their cough any longer, then they can go about their normal business. And our assumption is that they should be immune and are no longer at risk of spreading the virus. But some of the other household members could still develop the illness in the next few days, so they need to stay self-isolated during that period. Now, the question that we want to just clarify is what would happen if a third person in the household is wondering about whether to self-isolate from the time that the second person becomes ill. The guidance that we now have suggests that after 14 days from the initial period of household self-isolation, the risk of further spread of the virus is sufficiently reduced that it's okay for the household to come out of self-isolation at that point, except for anybody who still has symptoms. They should remain in self-isolation for 7 days from the onset of those symptoms. I realise it's not terribly simple, but this is the best way that we can approach reducing the spread of the virus and making sure that we get a lid on this terrible disease. What I would recommend is that, because the guidance is a little bit complicated, look at it online, check the guidance as it is on the website. The connections are with this video, and that way you can be up to date with whatever is the best way to try and protect yourself, your family, and prevent the spread of the virus in our community.